So, with the Shadows of Change DLC coming out, there are a bunch of changes that you get without purchasing the DLC. Not as many as the Chaos Dwarf patch, but there's still a good amount of stuff in here. And one thing that I don't think anybody was expecting was Snotling Pump Wagons got the Chameleon Stalker kind of passive thing, the little grenades that they throw. And they are grenades. They're throwing grenades. Those are chosen, by the way. Those are chosen. So, that's pretty fun. It's not like pump wagons are now just 360-degree outriders with grenade launchers, but also chariots. Now, to be fair, this is 4 of them, but they are firing at a chosen. And I haven't had to enter melee once. They're just slowly grenading down chosen. The chosen are getting pretty spread out, so now my grenades aren't doing nearly as much damage. But still, I mean, they do good. They do good little damage for those little guys. Go, my weird 360-degree, manually targetable skirmish cav, go. Because you can see I can't turn the shooting off. I also can't target what I want to. Like, if I click on them, they'll just go into melee. But yeah. Snotling Pump Wagons, just casually killing chosen outside of melee. Alright, so that was chosen. Now these missiles, you can see the missile strength at the bottom is non-armor piercing, so for a better example of what they can do, we need to shoot at marauders or something. You can see it's not inconsequential damage at all. They are getting pretty good shots in onto these marauders. And for the basic Snotling Pump Wagon is a 500 gold unit, so if it can kill a marauder, it's pretty much paid for itself. Let me make sure Azag doesn't die. But yeah, just kind of interesting that for some reason they thought to make Pump Wagons skirmish cav and explosive skirmish cav at that. For 4 of them versus 4 marauders, I've used about all of my ammunition. And I'd say we've done about half of the marauders' total health pool. Right, because that guy's like full-ish health and these other guys are all doomed. Snotlings, pump, pump. Pump, pump, little snotlings. Aside from that, any other pump wagon news? They're not nearly as good versus single entities anymore. They're pretty okay versus cavalry, but not great. So the pump wagon bug appears to be fixed, where they could like solo down a Dreadsaurian or anything, but now they have explosive grenades, so have fun with that. Alright, the Bretonnian Grail Cavalry, Grail Knights, and Grail Guardians took a bit of nerfs. Grail Knights got a cost increase, and their mass isn't nearly so crazy anymore. They can't just plow through infinite halberds that are braced for no reason. So, they're definitely feeling a lot more mortal. They still feel pretty good, but not OP, and maybe not even cost-effective. I don't know just yet. But yeah, so Grail Knights feeling a lot more mortal. With that, Bretonnia also took nerfs. Like I said, Grail Knights are more expensive now, but also I think Battle Pilgrims got their cost reduction reverted, so they're back to 600, and Foot Squires, I believe, got 50 more gold on their costs. So the Bretonnian Infantry, and the Grail Relique, I think, got some nerfs as well. So the Bretonnian Infantry Corps took a little bit of a hit. Their Elite Cavalry also took a bit of a hit. I don't think there'll be such terror on the battlefield anymore. Ogre Kingdoms got some stuff moved around. Now their Ogre Bulls are considered infantry, not infantry size, but just in the menu. They're in the infantry slot instead of the monsters and beasts category. Ogre Bulls aren't feeling nearly as crazy destructive anymore. Did some testing with the Wild Platy. They still seem strong, but they can't just charge into brace spearmen and kill them outright anymore. Noblar Trappers got a cost increase, and they lost their bonus versus infantry, so the Ogres taking 2 hits on their front line will be a little tough for them. Eltharion the Grim got some cost decreases, I believe. He's been feeling pretty good for me, and even on the live patch, I've actually been playing him a little bit, and he feels alright. So with some cost decreases, he could actually be quite meta. I think the Omen of Assyrian is also cheaper. Not sure on that one, I think. Big news for the Tomb Kings. If you go to the hero slot, if you click on a priest, you all of a sudden see Shadows magic is in here. What the hell? Unit caps is on. and I can click on him, it says unable to recruit with unit caps enabled. Aw, that's lame. Why is he in here and clickable if you're unable to recruit him? That's stupid. That's stupid. CA, why? 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 Alright, I'm pissed. I'm pissed again. Okay, for Skaven, Storm Vermin got a cost decrease, which is nice. Wood Elves, Wild Riders, and Wild Riders with Shields got slight cost decreases, and the Sisters of Thorn got, I believe, 60 models. They didn't, I think they used to have 48 or something. So that's a nice little buff for them. Pendulum is feeling good. I thought it got a damage increase, but my people on the live patch are telling me that the stats are the same, except for it did get a Wind of Magic cost decrease, so that's nice. But it feels better than it used to. To show you it feeling a little bit better to me, at least, and it did actually get a Winds of Magic cost decrease, so at least it's cheaper, which is nice. But we have some Chosen, and we have some Marauders. I'm going to cast it down the line. Poke, poke, poke. So an Overcast, like, deletes Marauders, which you would poke, and it does a little bit of damage to Chosen, but not much. So, yeah, it can have a niche. I've been undercasting it a lot versus Archer lines, and it feels pretty good. Speaking of spells, Light of Battle got a buff. It is now area of effect rather than single target, and at 6 Winds of Magic, an area of effect unbreakable could actually be quite nice. We have Empire Swordsman here fighting Chosen, and going to throw a quick 6 Winds of Magic, Light of Battle on them that gives them 22 seconds of unbreakable. Could really make your frontline hold for a bit longer, or a cav fight or something. So that's nice. It's a good little change. And last, but not, well, kind of last. Sort of last, kind of last. Last for the non-DLC changes. Chaos Knights of every god are feeling much better, especially the Tzeentch Chaos Knights have been doing a lot of work. It's hard to quantify because their issues were just like with their model interactions, but they've been feeling like normal cavalry now. I haven't been having any issues with Chaos Knights, and they've actually been pretty critical in some of the matchups I've been playing. Like the Tzeentch Chaos Knights can just run down a whole lot of those new Kislev archers and stuff. And these Chaos Knights of Khorne are feeling really good with their Frenzy stat buffs. I mean, just stat buffs you get from having Frenzy. They can truck on other cavalry, as long as the other cavalry is not armor piercing. But even then, I was testing with Tactical Edge when we played with some Questing Knights versus Chaos Knights of Khorne. The Chaos Knights of Khorne just slapped the shit out of them. So, they interact well with other cavalry now. They interact as most things do versus infantry. Like, that one was a pretty limp charge, but they were slowly walking at something that was walking away from them. What I am noticing is with their heavy armor and better stats, they can kill everything here with taking very little damage. And the last thing I wanted to show was they do nicely surround this General of the Empire, and they are all attacking him, which is nice. So yeah, Chaos Knights feel good. They feel good. The last change I had mentioned is technically DLC, so I guess the video's like changes you get without the DLC, but this is just something interesting. Tzeentch got these Zongors, and Kislev got the Elemental Incarnated Beasts. Beastmen get Zongors and the Elemental Incarnated Beasts. Again, you'd have to buy the DLC for that, but it's just interesting that it actually bleeds over. And this will be a significant buff to the Beastmen. Zongors are an incredible unit, and the Incarnate Elemental Beasts isn't bad. I think the Incarnate won't be as useful. It is a Mortis Engine as an anti-large duelist, but you already have a Mortis Engine and you have an anti-large duelist. Just two different monsters, but I don't know. Anyway, Zongors will be super effective. Also, if this makes it to live, there is a bug where you can take infinite Zongors. I have unit caps on. Infinite Zongors, which is kind of nuts. Also on the Warriors of Chaos, the bug also applies because they get Zongors. But you can see Marauders of Tzeentch with Spears. You take 3, and then you're all out of marked units because Sigvald's also a marked unit. That's crazy. Oh no! Zongors aren't a marked unit of Tzeentch. Oh no! Something else I forgot to mention is they added some new stuff. In Domination, if you're playing with some friends, you can have this option called Split Funds by Player Count, so that you can 2v1 your friends, and like if you get 9,000 gold for each of your armies, they'll each get 4,500. So that's kind of interesting, so you don't just get moneyed out. And in land battles, you can get this AI stat modifier bar, so you can give the AI better stats like you do in campaign. Don't know why you would ever do that, but yeah, it's a thing you can do. Oh, and another thing I forgot. was Zhao Ming got a new item that'll probably make him at least viable in the multiplayer meta. He has an item that fucking heal caps him and gives him 40% damage resistance after it procs. He needs to get below 25% HP in the air. You can see it go off here. So he goes back to full HP. The 40% damage resist will proc for 20 seconds, but since he was already routing, the game is going to army loss me here during this test, but you saw it right there. So it's his weird dragon scales. Brings him back to full HP for a second go at things. Roar!
Subscribe, yes, yes.